Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Today we're going to be working on the drill press modification again and trying to get this thing to a point where I can use it easily on the milling machine and get some projects done with it. There's a couple of things I need to do, or I really want to use this drill press on the milling machine, and it's going to be very nice once it's done. So what I need to do is take this drill press body off of this post. Now all it is there's a bolt that clamps on the casting and squeezes the casting on there, and I have that bolt loosened up and I've been spraying oil in there, but it hasn't wanted to come off. Now once I get this thing off, I need to machine the bottom of it flat, parallel or at a right angle actually to the spindle. Now there's really not a whole lot of spots to grab onto this guy, nowhere to grab this casting where I can 100% trust that it is parallel to the spindle. So I'm going to have to put a test bar or something in there and use it to kind of gauge how far out it is. And also this top casting here seems to be the reference point for which everything else was machined. Everything from the looks of it was machined from the bottom. There's a lip down here. If you have the pulley off, everything looks like it was machined from the bottom. So I believe that the top part of this casting, which is what it will be setting on when I machine it, was the reference point, the original reference point when they made this drill press originally. So now I gotta sit there and wiggle this thing off and see if I can't get it out of this post. I've started to use some unorthodox methods, like a giant Jorgensen C-clamp. So getting this guy set up onto here was maybe a slight debacle. In hindsight, I should have taken the coil out, I should have taken all this apart, I should have taken the motor off, but I didn't, and here it is. So now what I need to do is kind of indicate off of this bore to make sure it is straight in both axes. To do that, I'm going to simply use the bubble level on my combination square. I'll put my ruler in, or my scale in, and indicate off of the bores. Make sure it's all level. Now, level is not the greatest way to do this. The best way, in my opinion, would be to get some kind of a test bar, a 2.5-inch test bar, and use that, or even indicate off of the quill directly. That would probably be even better than using a test bar. But this doesn't need to be perfect. This doesn't need to be super accurate. And of course, when you're using a level on a machine, you check the level against the machine first. You're not making this level, you're making this level to the machine. So if I go there, I know that in this axis, the bubble needs to be touching the line on the right to be level to the machine. So I go in, and it's off significantly. There, and that's very close to what I need. Let me check it again, make sure. Yep, that's what I want. Let me check the other axis. So, in that axis, I need to be touching the bubble on the left. So the lowest point of my K and T is the back right corner. Well, actually that's pretty good. I was going to say I should level this machine, but the back right corner is close to where the coolant pump is, and so that's where the oil is going to want to flow. And so I'm not going to mess with it. So now I indicate off of bore. There, now it's just touching the line. Go back to here. And that moved. Oh, I moved it too much. And there we go. Now I can start tightening it up even more. Let's see, I do have a gap on this side of the jaw because this casting is tapered. So I'm going to find something to put in that gap to take up that space. I think this aluminum shim will do nicely. Now I just need to tap it in there a ways. And remember that with what I'm doing here, alignment in this direction and doesn't really matter. I'm only worried about flatness in the X and Y direction. If it's crooked or anything like that, it doesn't matter. So now I can tighten this up, get it even tighter, and it's off once again. Or is it? Make sure I'm on the bottom bore. No, it's not. I got a false reading for a second there. Let's see. That alignment is good. That alignment is good. Let me recheck both axes. Yep. And yes. So both alignments are good. So the modification of this little old Sprunger drill press is done. Machined and drilled, tapped for a strap clamp to hold it to the overarms. Now I have a drilling head for the K&T. Now that doesn't mean that the work is done on this machine, on this little attachment now, I guess. The motor on it is pretty big and pretty heavy for a 1/3 horsepower motor. It's equivalent to, as far as size is concerned, it's about a 1-horse motor. It should be at least a 1-horse motor for how big this one is. So I'm going to get a smaller motor for it that still retains the same speed and horsepower rating, but it's just a bit lighter. As well, I'm going to be doing a couple of things. I'll probably swap out pulleys because the pulleys I have for this are a little clapped out. The drill truck needs change desperately. The bearings are surprisingly pretty good. And now it's ready to use for a couple of projects. Now, one thing I want to use this for is the punch press shear build. There's a bunch of holes I need to drill and tap. I'd like to use this to at least drill the holes, if not power tap them. Another thing, I want to build a grinder base out of forklift tine, a big heavy base for my grinders to attach to, for the drill grinding attachment to attach to, that I can use, and it's just going to be a big heavy chunk of steel that doesn't vibrate around a whole lot. And another thing, I'm rebuilding a motor for my truck right now, a 223 inline 6. Now the motor needs machined. I could send that out to a machine shop. I actually have the head at the machine shop right now and spend a boatload of money, or, you know, I could buy a rigid hone and hone it out and use the K&T to deck the block, or maybe even take it into work. We have a Cincinnati number 5 at work, a very large Cincinnati mill that has more than enough travel to get that done. I might even take it there and do it there. Or even one of our smaller mills would probably have the travel to do it. The K&T has enough travel, but only by about an inch. So that means that I would have to come into the work from the top, come down, mill it, and then exit the work by dropping the table, and that's really not ideal. So I might just take it to the machine shop also. That's still on the table. I just think it would be fun to use this like a honing machine and hone it out. So, with that being said, thank you for watching this video. I'm sorry for not posting much. I've been so busy and my videos have kind of gone stale. The last couple of videos have been pretty boring. Hopefully, I'm going to quit doing announcements and such like that and just work on projects. So, I'll see you in the next video.